I believe that life should be lived and enjoyed in color. Different colors just hug me, picks up my spirit, and just makes me feel that I can do anything, just that I can conquer the world. If I'm not in a really positive mood, just putting on some lipstick, just adding a splash of color into my wardrobe just really empowers me. And there's certain things that are in my wardrobe with certain colors. Sometimes when I go shopping, I'll pick up something and I come home and I look and I'm like, oh, it goes with this or it matches this. And I've realized that there's a particular pattern or an order or a way in which I do things. There's certain words, certain phrases that are uniquely mine, certain phrases that I repeat over and over. It bridges the gap in conversation. We all have a pattern, and even in our relationships, there's definitely a pattern, a way in which we do things. There are cycles that we repeat time and time and time again, and sometimes we're not even cognizant or mindful of the cycles and the patterns that we repeat. And interestingly enough, I had hit a roadblock in my relationships, and I was really just assessing and questioning my journey and just questioning, Lord, like, how did I end back here? Like, how did I end up back here, God? Like, wait a minute. I thought that I had learned this lesson. Like, wait a minute. Why am I here in this situation? It's the same feelings. I've had these feelings before. And I remember the Lord just saying to me, this day when I was having this internal conversation, I was literally waiting for the train. I was on the train platform and I was waiting for the train. And he just said to me, you have a pattern of doing things. It's all about the pattern. And I'm like, okay. And then a couple weeks later, one of my coworkers gave me a book by Hill Harper. And I'm not sure the exact title. So I do have the book in my library though, but it's Conversations on Relationships or something like that. But it's a book by Hill Harper, and the main keywords is conversations. So I started reading this book, and it was really enlightening because it spoke about how we function in relationships, the things that we do, and the patterns, the cycles, that we repeat. And of course, also the outside influences and stressors that forces us to do certain things in relationships, or especially if you're, older or you're mature, you're over a certain age. Of course, there are outside influences and pressures from family, from your friends, or just from society in general. Like, you should be in a relationship. As a matter of fact, I was on the train recently and I was talking to one of my classmates, and I guess she was just intrigued to know like, what's my story? Like, what's your story? Like, what happened? You're a vibrant young lady. As a matter of fact, you're glowing. You're even good looking. Like, you're pretty. And she's like, don't be offended, but you're pretty. So what happened? Like, why are you single? And I was just like, wow, apparently it took me a little bit. I was taken aback and I had to answer, and I was trying to figure out how to answer the question. And I, of course, started to share some conversation or some information about my past marriage. And not that there were two people in the marriage, so pretty much both of us had a pattern or a system of doing things, and it just didn't work out. I'm not going to blame one person and say, well, it was his fault. We were both in the relationship, and there were definitely things that I did that I should not have done or didn't have the knowledge about it. Didn't even realize at that point that what I was doing was problematic, or that it could have caused some issues in our relationship, And knowledge, definitely having knowledge really equips you and prepares you for a relationship, for whatever it is that you're doing. Even let's say it's applying for a job, you should at least do some research about the company, the field that you're trying to get into. You know, you want to have at least a basic knowledge so you can have an intelligent conversation, or at least make an informed decision. And it's the same thing with relationships, with marriage, or whatever sort of relationship you're in. You really want to do your homework. You want to have some background information. You know, you want to do your due diligence. You want to get to know that person, you know, spend some time with them just to figure out who they are, to figure out if you guys share the same values, you know, you have the same love for God, the same love for, let's say, children, or for whatever it is that, you know, you want to accomplish. Or are you guys on the same path? You know, are you guys aligned spiritually? You know, the physical is always great, but what happens after that? At some point, you may get bored, you may get tired, but what is the uniting factor? Like, what is the purpose that you guys are working towards? What is going to keep you in that relationship? What is going to keep you faithful? What are you guys striving to accomplish? What is bigger than yourself, bigger than the physical? You know, what is it that you've been created to do? You know, and you can only know this by taking time to analyze yourself, to figure out the patterns, the cycles, and really just to get to know the person. And, you know, there are books, there are so many different things that you can read to inform yourself. As a matter of fact, as I'm talking, I just realized that I've just repeated one of the things that are uniquely mine, like a word that I use a lot is, you know, and really, there I go again. I was just about to say, you know, but it's really about figuring out the patterns, the cycles, and just being informed so you can make an informed decision, so you can have the knowledge and just to take the steps that's necessary to prepare and to plan.